Hey, they really envy your solitude. They don't like that you love yourself so much. They don't like that you.
One thing that I'm so happy that I've went through is knowing how to be alone, knowing how to steward being alone, not having to use people's bodies to fill a lonely void.
Some people can't be alone, and here's why. Because being alone forces you to face yourself. No distractions, no fake love, no noise to cover up the emptiness. Because when it's just you gotta sit with your thoughts and your habits and the truth you've been running from. See that silence, it exposes what you've been ignoring. And instead of healing, most people would rather jump from person to person, situation to situation, just to avoid themselves. But if you don't learn to enjoy your own company, you'll always settle for anybody just so you don't be alone.
Y'all know what the problem is? I think it ain't even about man versus woman. I think the problem is people don't know how to be alone no more. Everybody just want to be with somebody. Y'all doing anything to be with somebody, so y'all settling for a lot of bullshit. Men definitely can't be alone. Y'all got to be with something. Somebody got to feel on something. Instead of just focusing on y'all purpose and just stand on a mission, y'all get sidetracked by all these bitches out here who really don't even give a fuck about y'all. And y'all ladies, y'all just out here lost trying to follow the next trend, trying to be a little bitch, and really just, instead of just really knowing who you are as a woman, piping down on your shit and owning up to that. And now y'all just out here dating any nigga that come through, I guess, with a bag or telling y'all whatever y'all want to hear, and y'all falling for it. So the problem with our generation is it's a lot of lost souls. People not taking the time to do that inner work and really getting to know themselves. So it's a big circus out here. It's a big circus full of people who don't know how to be alone, and people who don't even know what the fuck they want, or people who don't even know who they are. So it's just a circus.
Loners really know who they are. And that shit bothers the fuck out of people. We really have a relationship with ourselves. And we ain't gonna let nobody come in between us and ourselves. Especially if it took a lot of work for us to get closer to ourselves. We don't care about people not liking us. We don't need your validation. We don't need your acceptance. Because these are things that we've established for ourselves. And people who haven't put in that type of work with themselves cannot stand us. They cannot stand that shit. They cannot stand that we don't need people's validation. They can't stand that we don't need people to agree with us in our decisions, that we don't need people to accept us, because the standard of love that we have for ourselves is a standard that other people have to be able to meet. And if they cannot meet that standard, if they cannot meet the standard that we hold for ourselves and the love that we pour into ourselves, we don't have a problem not fucking with you and not dealing with you, period.
Let me tell you something, sweetheart. There is a special kind of peace that only people who've had their hearts stomped on, their loyalty abused, and their kindness misinterpreted get to experience. It's called, I'll just be over here by myself.
Like, I ain't judging, but I just could not imagine being so broken and so unhealed to the point where I have to go seek other things to fill a void so I won't be alone. I feel like if you do not know how to be alone, you're always going to be in stuff. You're always going to be going through stuff. You're always going to be bleeding on other people. You're always going to. It's almost like the guinea pig on the wheel, just running and running and running and running, because you're in a cycle. If you do not know how to be alone, that means you do not know how to face yourself. And I feel like if you do not know how to be alone, you're performative. Today's society just make you be glad that you for real. Cause people be wanting to get to talk to you, latch onto you, and people who just cannot be alone literally have boxes that they need people to check off. And once they deem that somebody has checked off all their boxes, it's like they think that they found the one until it hits the fan. And if you can't be alone, it just means that you're always going to be searching from an area of lack because you don't know yourself, because you can't face yourself, because you cannot heal the void. So you're always going to put people there. And I just feel like that's why I don't really got time to do no dating stuff, because
I know too much now. And I know what I know, and I'm just not finna be no placeholder to nobody. Because I'm gonna knock somebody out for one. But two, like, no, it just comes with too much. Like, imagine being with somebody who cannot be alone. Do you know how many bodies they carrying around? Do you know how much stuff gonna hit your life? Do you know how screwed up, start to say another word, you gonna be? All I got to say is, baby, I am so glad I know how to be alone. I'm so glad I enjoy my own company. I'm so glad I don't need 1,000 friends. Y'all be needing, if you're a woman, you be needing men. You be finding validation in men because you don't know how to be by yourself, and you don't know how to face yourself. So when the little girl inside of you is healed, the woman will show up, and you'll stop adding on bodies to try to fill a void. For men, you'll stop going from woman to woman. Stop having a box that women check off and then latch it on to them and think you found the one. You'll stop sleeping with everybody that you come in contact with when you heal the little boy inside of you. And all I gotta say is, if you're really a person out here who can be alone, who enjoys your own company, who really can face yourself, you can die to yourself multiple times, you can face all the dark parts of you, you a winner. Like, you a different kind of breed, because 99.9% of people are struggling with not knowing themselves. So since they don't know themselves, they always have to seek other people to avoid facing themselves. And that's dangerous. And yeah.
Be careful with people who don't mind being alone. Let me explain why. Firstly, they don't rely on anyone else to feel whole. That means they'll never cling to toxic people just to avoid loneliness. Their peace comes from within. So if you want to be their friend, you gotta bring peace and happiness, twin, or their relationship will end quicker than it began. Secondly, you can't control them with fear of abandonment. They already master being by themselves, so manipulation and guilt won't work. The minute you act like or say you're gonna leave, they will politely show you the door. 9 times out of 10, they already wanted you to leave. Thirdly, if they let you in, it's because they want you there, not because they need you there. Loners rarely hang around people, so if they got you around, they truly value your presence, which makes it even more meaningful. Fourthly, losses don't shake them like it do others. They don't rebuild themselves alone before, so no matter who leaves, they'll find their way back. Fifthly, their strength is built in silence. They endure struggles on their own, and they grew stronger because of it, which makes them harder to break. Sixthly, their silence is their reset. Time alone gives them clarity, so when they come back stronger and sharper. Seventhly, they move with patience because they know being alone isn't a weakness, so they don't rush into situations that's not right. And eighthly, they embrace new beginnings. Alone time taught them how to grow, so starting over isn't scary, it's exciting. All my loners out there, continue to choose solitude over chaos. Continue to be selective about situationships and relationships. And don't forget to go get you some sunlight, because loners will sit in the house all day like a vampire. They will even avoid the sun if the sun is disturbing their peace. I love y'all, and may y'all continue to be peaceful.
Let me tell y'all something about loners. The reason why a lot of people like to be alone is because at one point in time in their life, they was around people that they loved, right? But here's the catch. The people that they loved didn't love them back. You know what they did instead? They betrayed them. They used them. They abandoned them. They didn't support them. So that's why a lot of people that are loners, they rather be alone than to be around groups of people, because they know how it feels to feel alone while being around people. So before you try to convince somebody that being a loner is a bad mindset to have, it's actually a safe one. Because not only you get to practice self-love, but you get to stay away from the bullshit. You don't have to go through infidelity. You don't have to worry about being backstabbed. You don't have to worry about arguing with your loved ones, about showing up. And you don't have to worry about being abandoned.
Because once you've been surrounded by people who claim they loved you while simultaneously auditioning for the role of betrayer number one, solitude stops feeling like loneliness. It starts feeling like premium luxury silence. And the funny part? People look at folks who enjoy being alone like they're malfunctioning. Why don't you want to hang out? Baby, because every time I tried hanging out in the past, somebody ended up stealing my peace, my energy, or my favorite hoodie. I'm good. See, when you finally learn to sit with yourself, you learn something dangerous. You become unbothered. And unbothered people are terrifying, especially to the bothered. They don't understand how you wake up, breathe, stretch, drink your water, mind your business, and actually feel happy. Like, how dare you not need a crowd? How dare you not chase validation? How dare you not crumble when someone removes themselves from your life?
Hey man, I don't know who need to hear this, but they hate your ability to really be alone. They hate that you really don't need nobody. If it really come down to it, bro, you really can stand on business and you don't need nobody. That's why they mad. That's why you got these people looking at you like, how the fuck? Why they ain't trying to click up with us? Why they don't want to hang with us? Why they just, want to be on, because you different. You on a whole different level from these people, bro. And they just really still trying to figure it out. You feel me? You been past them. They really got to catch up. You feel me? They playing catch up. Mustard, for real. Because you ahead of the game, man. They hate that ability. They hate your ability to be alone. You really can be alone, stand on business. So I don't know who I'm talking to right now. I don't know who on the other side of this camera. But keep standing on business and keep shining, man. Because you really one of them ones. And they know that.
Let me tell you something. You are not for everybody. You're a lone wolf. You don't need to run in packs. The moment you step into a room, the things you do, the things you say, your energy intimidates other people. They may belittle you. They may even go online and put a couple subliminal messages about you, but they know better than to say it to your face. A powerful person is somebody who's not concerned about the opinions of other sheep. Don't allow other people to make you feel bad about yourself because of the season that you're in. There's going to be some tough lessons in this season for some people, because while you're elevating, while you're growing, they're sitting around and discussing you. They need to take some notes. You're not for everybody. Bye, guys.
Be careful with men that don't know how to be alone. Let me explain. He ain't trying to build. He trying to fill a void. He'll latch on to you fast and then drain you emotionally. He never had to sit in silence and face his own reflection, so he hides in relationships. He confuses being needed with being loved. His peace depends on people, not his own foundation. He'll call you his peace while bringing you chaos. He jumps into love but don't know how to nurture it. He don't heal. He distracts himself with who's ever next. He's more loyal to the feeling of companionship than the actual person beside him. And when things get real, he checks out because he was never truly present. A man that fears solitude will turn your love into a hiding place, not a home. A man who fears solitude will entertain anybody just to feel occupied, not because he's actually ready to love. He don't want a relationship. He want noise to cover up his internal emptiness. That's why he love bonds quick and disappear just as fast. It was never love, it was avoidance. Be careful, because a man who can't sit alone is usually running from something. And it's only a matter of time before you become the thing he runs from next. You deserve a man who chooses you from stillness, not one that clings to you from fear.
Because here's what they'll never admit out loud. Your peace exposes their chaos. Your stillness highlights their noise. Your self-love reminds them of everything they haven't dealt with yet. That's why they whisper. That's why they watch. That's why they poke around asking, why you always by yourself? Baby, because I like the company. That's why. You ever notice people who can't stand being alone are the same ones jumping from relationship to relationship like they're auditioning for a sitcom nobody asked for? They're avoiding their own thoughts like the thoughts owe them money. Meanwhile, you over here treating healing like a full-time job, clocking in early, staying late, no days off, benefits included. You've cried the tears, you've sat in the silence, you've prayed the prayers that shook something loose in your spirit. You've wiped your face and said, all right, God, what we doing today? And now you're at a point where your presence is so strong that people either admire you, misjudge you, or completely fear you. All three mean you're doing something right. Because when you're comfortable being alone, you discover something magical. You don't need a crowd to move like a force. You walk into rooms by yourself and suddenly the room shifts like, well, who invited confidence? Me. I came with me. And that's enough.
I don't mean to be rude or anything, but those people who jump from relationship to relationship, are you okay? Do you need help? Are you just that incapable of being alone in your own space? There are genuinely people out there, I know, that just don't like being alone. Being alone and lonely are two different things. You can be so content. I'm one of those people that is so content by myself. And it's actually got to the point where this is why I'm so fussy with who I spend my energy on, especially when it comes to building something with somebody, because you are essentially taking away some of my time. So if you are not adding to my life, I don't want it. I don't want you in my life. If you're not bringing value to my life, I do not want you in my life, because I am that okay by myself. But there are, and I actually feel sorry for these people that genuinely are not okay within their own company. They feel like they need validation from other people. They feel like they need that connection, even if the connection, respectfully speaking, is shit. There's nothing there. There's no depth. Some people will just operate on that and be completely okay. Me, no. And that's what separates me from a lot of other people, and people that are like me. We're friends. We can be friends. We understand the importance of not just having anyone around your energy in your circle for the sake of it. So that's all I have to say.
When you actually know your worth, you don't kiss behind, you ain't following behind people, you ain't with the crowd, you can honestly stand 10 toes alone, baby, they don't respect you. They don't respect me. That's why a lot of people don't like me, because I will stand by myself, will stand alone, and don't care how anybody feels about it. One thing about it, I done showed up in rooms where people didn't like me. A whole crowd of people in a room didn't like me. Still showed up and still did what I wanted to do, because who stopped me from doing anything that I wanted to do? Nobody. Learn to stand on your own 2 feet. People gonna talk about you regardless, but it's about how you make it. You gonna keep living in fear because this and that person don't like you? It's always gonna be somebody that don't like you. Doesn't matter what you do. Don't ever let nobody stop you from living your life. You can't control how other people are. You can only control who you are. And 9 times out of 10, people don't even know why they don't like you. It could be because other people don't like you that they know. They cousin don't like you for whatever reason. Oh, that's my cousin, so I'm not gonna like her either. It's always gonna be somebody that's following the leader. It's always gonna be that. And if y'all think about it, people that actually have like friends and stuff, half of the time they don't even be liking their friends. It just be people that need somebody to be with, need somebody to hang out with, need somebody to be in their corner, just say they have somebody, because people don't know how to stand on their own. But I promise you, when you stand on your own, people are not going to like you. So get used to it, because they see you as a leader, not a follower, like how they are. And guess who ends up winning in the end? You.
People hate that you don't fold, hate that you're not desperate, hate that you don't chase. Hate that you'd rather be alone than be in a room where you're tolerated instead of valued. And listen, being a lone wolf isn't a punishment. It's a promotion. It means you've graduated from needing noise to trusting your own voice. It means you're no longer checking people's opinions like weather forecasts, hoping today might finally be warm. No, you bring your own sunshine now. And the more you honor that solitude, the more selective you become. You don't let everyone near you anymore. Not because you're cold, but because you know the cost of letting the wrong people in. So if you're watching this and you've been feeling a little me versus everybody, baby, it's okay. You're not antisocial. You're anti-nonsense. You're not distant. You're discerning. You're not lonely. You're aligned. Keep standing on business. Keep choosing peace. Keep choosing you. Because people who fear their own reflection will always be intimidated by someone who has made peace with theirs. And that, my love, is why you walk alone. Not because you're lost, but because the road you're on isn't crowded.